Yo, what's going on, my fellow Avengers Squad members? LeJune here, now back with another video. Now, as you guys see, today's video we'll be talking about how Marvel Avengers did the unexpected for this beta. Now, before we get into the video, if you guys are going to enjoy it and you like it, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well so you can never miss a video in my streams, and most importantly, hit that like button. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, you may be wondering on how Marvel Avengers was able to pull off the unexpected for this beta. Now, if you guys have played the last week of the beta, which you should have, I wouldn't have missed that out, you would know that it ran so smoothly compared to the first week and the second week for the beta. Now, you cannot sit up here and lie and say that it was not smooth. Now, of course, there's some things that need to be fixed overall, so I'm not gonna sit up here and say that they fixed everything, glorify they say they fixed everything, because they didn't. Of course they didn't have enough time. But from what they did and the things they did add into the game to make it even better, they tried and it did execute. So I'm going to be getting into these points. Now, the first thing I'm going to get into is the feedback. Now, the feedback is one of the strongest pieces of this game that really affected it and really, improved the gameplay and everything for it. It was just the community overall. Like, we really went hard for this and we really gave our feedback for it. And with that feedback, it really improved the game. We got options we got decreasing motion blur, we got the camera shake option, and the matchmaking and everything, and we're gonna get into that later. But just from that alone, it really did improve the overall experience for the game. You cannot sit up here and lie. And the fact that Marvel Avengers themselves, they posted on their Twitter, they posted on their Discord, and they even read people's comments on comments on Reddit. Just basically just getting feedback on asking what they want. They posted on Twitter, just polls, and asking which feature that they really like, and giving it a rating, how much they really like the feature and everything. And it's just pretty dope. Like, the fact that they're actually listening to our feedback and really trying their hardest to really give us the best Avengers experience ever. And I have to commend them for that. Like, you cannot sit up here and just not commend them for that, for just trying and really executing when it comes to the fan feedback, and really feedback and executing on it. Because there's some companies that they could get tons of feedback from their the consumers, or I guess say their buyers and everything, and they just don't even listen. Like, so compared to what Marvel Avengers is doing now, to what some other companies do, this is really well, and I'm glad that they're interacting with the community. So that gives basically a good rep for them, because they're actually listening to us, and what we say really matters, and it really means a lot to them. So that, I really commend them for that. It's really dope that they listen to us and that our feedback really means something. Now, for the second thing we're going to get into is the updates that were throughout the week. Now, if everybody should know this now, that Marvel Avengers, even when they first announced the beta, that these were going to take place during the weekends, and throughout the week they were going to patch all the bugs. And when not all the bugs, the bugs that people were running into, the glitches, everything that was going on with the game that was not that was hindering our experience, and just our overall gameplay experience with the game. And bro, I have to say, I'm not finna sit up here and lie and say that they fixed everything, but from what they got from us with the feedback, as I stated in the first option, it is crazy how much they worked on. Now, the topics we're going to get into for this with the updates is the motion blur, the camera shake, and the matchmaking and frame rate. Now, for the first one, we're going to be talking about motion blur. Now, when we first played this game throughout the first week and the second week, motion blur was one of the most highly requested things to really be reduced, because motion blur really affected the gameplay itself and affected the game, when it comes to frame rate as well. It affected it heavily. When I say heavily, and especially coming from a Hulk main, where Hulk has the tantrum move, it's ridiculous. And especially when you're flying around, or you're jumping with Hulk, or swinging with Black Widow and Ms. Marvel, you will see how much the motion blur really hinders the experience, and like really takes away the details of like the buildings, your surroundings, the environment and everything. So the fact that they listen and decrease the motion blur, and compared to what we got for the third week, bro, you could barely even notice the motion blur in the game, to be honest with you, from my experience. I don't know if it's for anybody else, but I barely even saw the motion blur, and it looked way better, and I feel like it really made the game run even smoother, to be honest with you. Now, let me know what your opinions is about that below. But for the next thing we're gonna get into is the camera shake. Now, coming from a Hulk main, and you know Hulk when he does the tantrum move, when you just you hold triangle then spam triangle, and he slams on the ground and everything and do a shockwave. The kids, bro, you see it on screen right now. The camera shake was ridiculous. It was crazy, and it made the frames drop so much, especially if you're fighting in like that hallway in the condition green mission, the hero mission for Hulk, bro. It's hectic, bro. It makes the frame rate drop so bad, and the fact that they added in the camera shake option, which you should be seeing on the screen now on what it looks like when you have zero camera shake. Now, zero camera shake really works out for me. It really, makes the game run even smoother, just because I'm not making the screen shake, gajillion times, making the frame rate drops for me and making the frame rate drops for everyone. So, hey, I like that. It's pretty dope. But for the next thing we're going to get into is the matchmaking. Excuse me. Now, of course, the matchmaking to this day, when it was on the third week, the matchmaking was somewhat not. It still needed some work because it still kind of took a little bit too long to find groups of allies to really run the missions with. But then again, I think it's like that because it depends on what difficulty you're running on. So if you're running on normal, you might find people way quicker than if you're playing on hard mode or brutal. So I feel like that had like a huge factor to play into it when it comes to playing with people online and matchmaking. I feel like that played a heavy weight to that. So honestly, compared to the first and second week with the matchmaking, the third week seemed a little bit better for me when I was matchmaking with people. Of course, I had to go to normal to really find people because not everyone was geared up for hard or brutal. So I didn't have no mind playing normal. So I feel like I feel like matchmaking still needs a little bit work, but then again, I think that really plays with how I said with the difficulties that people play on. I feel like that has a huge effect on it as well, for people that play on hard and brutal. So that's my opinion about that. Now we have the frame rate. Now the frame rate was one of the it's up there. It's probably the number one thing that people really want improved in the beta for the game. So of course I'm like that as well. The frame rate drops sometimes when you're you're playing as Hulk or you're in a specific mission. You're just playing around. Not the motion blur, the frame rate drop was crazy. Like it was out of this world how much the frame rate was dropping, especially if you're playing as Hulk. It was crazy. But I think when it comes to that frame rate, this is when the motion blur and the camera shake came into play for me, because when I played the beta, when I had the camera shake was on 0 for me, and the motion blur was decreased. That was automatically. We can change the settings for motion blur, but for the camera shake, I sense like the frame rate. When I say I sense, like I got a little bits of frame rate drop when I had the camera sensitivity at 0, and especially when it was hectic and it had a lot of enemies. I was barely seeing frame rate drops. Of course, I was seeing them, but when it comes to how much I was seeing it on the first week and second week, it was nothing compared to that on the third week, because I was barely seeing them. It's because they added in the camera shake option, and the camera shake was really a high play when it comes to the frame rate dropping. So when they added that, it kind of reduced the frame rate drops to me, and honestly, and that's what really made the game run smoothly, was the camera shake option, and that really played into the factor with the frame rate for me. For me, it did. So as I stated, bro, I feel like they really did listen to us, and they really did, go and fix, like little bugs and glitches and everything. Now, of course, they're not Superman. They can't fix everything. So they have the time right now to really fix everything. Probably to include it in a day 1 patch that they're going to release probably when the game comes out. So I'm expecting a day 1 patch to at least fix some of the bugs that they were not able to fix while we were able to play the beta. So we just have to wait. Just wait for the day 1 patch, see what things come out when the game comes out, and everything. So hey, we gotta see when it comes out. Now, what do you guys think about this? Do you feel like they did pull off the unexpected? when it comes to this beta, you know, fixing all the bugs, you know, the updates throughout the weeks, and especially with the feedback. Like what was your reaction on to how much feedback they're really taking and how much they really took it to heart? You know, I really want to know you guys' opinion about this. But yeah, this seems to, you know, be the end of the video. I really talked about everything that I need to talk about. So yeah, we're finna get into the end of the video. Now let's get into it. Now, as you stated, you know, this is the end of today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it as I enjoyed making it. Now, before we head out, if you guys are not, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss a video in my streams. And most importantly, hit that like button. Now, if you guys did not know, I do have a Discord. It's called Avengers Squad. It's basically we go everything dealing with Marvel Avengers. You know, Gotham Knights. You know, the Suicide Squad game that just got announced as well. So we basically have a genre, everything. So if you guys want to join and want how to join, all you gotta do is click the link below. That's legit all you have to do. And most importantly, if you guys do not know, I have memberships on my channel. If you want to know more information about that, the link is below. But I have to give a quick shout out to my members. Now we have the elite class. We have Mr. T Gamer, Dude 3 Gameplay. We have Hezi, and we have King Trident. Now I can't forget about my rookies. You know, rookies, you're still appreciated too. Now we have Francisco Lara, the Drifting Crusader, Ryan Black, Trey Bryant, and H3. Shout out to y'all for being memberships on the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Now, if you guys do not know, I stream on Twitch. I will be streaming Marvel Avengers on there. So if you guys want to come out to the streams, that link will be below for my Twitch streams. But yeah, can't wait to see y'all there. But yeah, that's the end of today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day. Peace.